All right, hey, I'm Scott Colson, and I am here with Christi McCully, and we are really excited about doing these small podcast segments to educate parents out there about the Foundry, which is a brand new, really exceptional high school that we're starting in, when are we starting? This year,
2018.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
very soon. So we've got a lot of interest from parents with a lot of questions out there about different things, and so we've decided to put together these small segments to answer those questions and give parents a really clear picture of what we feel like is going to be an exceptional educational experience that we're going to be offering this year. So you ready to do this?
Absolutely.
Christi? Okay, good. So I'm Scott Colson, and I have kids that are around the corner from high school, which is my interest in putting this together. But Christi, you've been in this for a long time.
Absolutely. My kids are in their late 20s now. And I have to say that my interest in education started with them. I recognized that when we moved to Georgia, Georgia was not particularly well ranked educationally. And I knew that education was so important for the kids' futures. And so we started homeschooling. We started the Soaring Eagles. We started the Bridge at Eagle's Nest, and these were wonderful opportunities and very hands-on education. However, realized that it just wasn't open to everyone, that there were an awful lot of single parents that were unable to homeschool and asking us to homeschool for them. And so when my kids graduated, I had to stop and look and say, well, what am I going to do now? What do I want to be when I grow up?
Yeah.
And I recognized that there was a huge need for an educational opportunity for all students. And that's when I got the idea to start Liberty Tech.
Cool, and that's how we know each other. Of course, my kids, go to Liberty Tech, and you want to talk a little bit about, that experience and how that kind of evolved into the Foundry, where we are now?
Absolutely. Liberty Tech is a charter school in South Fayette that is open to any students in the entire state of Georgia, which is pretty unique for a school. We were very proud of what we've accomplished and what the principal and board have continued to work on. However, one issue that they've had is finances.
Yep.
A charter school simply does not get the money that your typical public school has, and so they had to make a very difficult decision not to go into the high school. As a result, yourself and several other parents have come to me asking me if we could continue with the model that we had created and promised to these folks, if we could start an independent school that met that same model. And that's what we have with the Foundry.
Yeah, and I am super excited about it because I believe that it has all of the components of what you're putting together at Liberty Tech, and then some. And I think by doing this in a private school format, we're really able to do some exciting things and to really build on and create that vision that for high school students that you originally conceived of.
The independent school model gives us so much flexibility that unfortunately a public school just can't.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. And from a high school perspective, we think it's so important at this point for kids to be able to develop this critical thinking, to be able to improve not only their knowledge acquisition, but their skills as well. And to be able to work with mentors who are experts in their field, to be able to see why it is that I'm learning this stuff and that it actually has a real life application.
Yeah. And, so when you and I got involved with the other founding board members and started really laying out the mission, the extension of Liberty Tech and the vision, we've spent a lot of time talking about what it should be, what the requirements are today of today's high school graduates, what it needs to look like when they graduate. And why don't we read, we spent a lot of time on this, crafting these couple of sentences and these few things.
Well, it's an important document because
it
it actually will drive every decision that we make from here on.
Right, but I think let's just read what our mission is so we're clear to the parents out there, so go for it.
Absolutely. The Foundry seeks to redefine the educational experience for high school students, Graduates of the Foundry will have gained a deep understanding of how to harness their gifts and talents to reach their fullest potential through challenging work both in and outside of the classroom. Students will leave for college with real-world experience and a clear picture of the opportunities and challenges they will face as they become the leaders of tomorrow. And that's what it's all about. We want for these kids to be empowered, to be engaged in education, to be empowered to recognize that they have the skills that are necessary to make a change, and then to be able to change the world, to make it better.
Exactly, which is leads us into our motto.
Absolutely.
So we put a lot of thought into this. We really wanted to have a motto that that parents can, that teachers and students can rally around and be clear about what we're all about. So tell them our motto.
Our motto is work hard, be kind, change the world. And we believe that those two things are necessary in order to change the world. But there is a purpose to education, and it's not just for our personal satisfaction. It is to make the world a better place.
Exactly. And I can't wait to jump into all of these points. There's a lot more to jump into, as you know, and we'll get into all of that, what all that means in detail in future sessions. But I think let's wrap this up, and we'll move on to our next podcast. We'll see everybody on the next session.
Thank you.